And with regards to the evolution of propaganda, there's obviously another kind of quite important part of this, which involves another agency which you'll be forming a very close relationship. Can you explain how that relationship is going to work and how it came about and what it means to propaganda?
Yeah. Okay, so this is good. The point here is about our decision to go into a strategic partnership with an organisation from my hometown, coincidence, Huddersfield. They're called BANG. Come on to those a little bit more shortly. I reported that we've had growth. We've had, you know, when we talk about 500k of fee, I think that the typical agency issue with reporting new fees is almost always it's 500k and 500k out. We've got maximum client retention, and we've had so steadily now for probably about 12 to 15 months. In fact, I think that you know as well as I know, the last exit we had, which was by no means insignificant, was when we resigned GHD, and that was a £2 million resignation. So just going on to that, because it's worth saying, you talk about this place surviving, when we look back and go, why are we here? Why are we on 750, 800k profitability this year? Why is the plan for the next financial year showing us return back above £1 million? You go back and you chart GHD resignation. So we all know strategically we had a disagreement, and that alone should see a client and agency part for me. But the other reason was, without any embarrassment, we let it get too big. It was 40% of our business, and you know, people had told me since I first stepped foot into business world, never let anything go above 20. We were beginning to run our business not for us but for them. That had to end. And in ending it, we took control. So that was a great lesson. Brand multiple, the next one. And now I think the issue that we're debating here is, how should an agency deal with growth in these times? Because typically, it's easy to deal with growth. We just grow. We've got really a two-pronged reason why I think we're going to deal with this growth differently. One, we are committed to building our point of difference at the strategic end, the brand multiple end, and that's where we want to make our major investments. And when I talk about brand multiple, the creative as well as the strategic is paramount. So again, a little bit of an exclusive if you want it, a chap called Mark Williams, who served probably his apprenticeship with Propaganda, gosh, could be 10 years ago, subsequently gone and done the rounds at the likes of Leith, you'll be aware, Satches, wherever else, currently residing in a Leeds agency. He's going to join here in a senior creative position, working with Lou Dixon very shortly. And Mark will also be followed in by another couple of senior strategic hires. So we know where we want to put our investment money. We want to put it in the strategic end, differentiating brand multiple. But with the new clients and with the growth also comes by default a growth in demand for our tactical work. And the one thing over the years that we've debated many times is, would a propaganda of the future actually get to a point whereby we did the clever stuff, we might call it, and then we found someone else to do the tactical work? Well, that's me being very disrespectful of tactical work. There's an awful lot of great thinking has to be done to make that thought materialise over here. We trialled, I think, going back about 9 years, an outsourced relationship on that, and it failed miserably. And I think probably we've always been looking to see if we could find someone who was prepared to work our way. And a one-liner on what our way is. We're a planning-led agency. We do not employ that title cosmetically. We use research and insight to put knowledge before assumption, which means when that brief is written, the designer, for example's obligation is to follow the brief, not tear it in two and do stuff that's winning awards that week. And that's another strong view of ours. So over the past 6 months, we found, worked with, I think nurtured to a degree, an organisation called BANG in Huddersfield. Young group, oodles of potential, reminders absolutely of us back in the day. And one thing the guys will not mind me saying is, when we met them, they kind of confessed that they've pretty much built their agency and aspired to our model. Now, we're in a marketplace where most people will aspire to agencies who are, let's just say, winning the traditional awards, but more so doing the stuff we kind of want to see in the sixth form common room. And why is that? I guess because most aspiring people have just stepped out of the sixth form common room. I think it took a maturity in the guys at Bank to look at our work, and they had something I've never seen in a long time. They can get as excited about the results as they can the creative journey to get them. And actually they like us, start from results and work back and then oblige everything in the path to deliver those results. So we found someone who reminds us of us. We trialled them, we nurtured them, we put them in a couple of small projects. They absolutely impressed us. These guys, I think, are superb. I think they are ones to watch. And what we've therefore done is, rather than us kind of grow in that section of our studio or digital areas, this is what they do. We're going to go into a partnership with them. So it'll probably be a separate press release for them, certainly, but that will look like, I think, £250,000 contract going into Bang, certainly for year one. And in making sure that that relationship is very close, crucially aligned for their own independent growth, but also safeguarding that very unique partnership that we will have. Laura Kynaston, who is the joint MD here with Julian Kynaston, will move on to their board in the capacity of a non-executive director. We also have a programme whereby their senior people will get mentored by our senior strategists, ADs, and again we will see it as something in both of our interests for them to now continue their development and growth. Not just in line with us on a practical and contracted level, but culturally as well. So I think that what we've got here is an example where perhaps one might read it as caution, and if it's caution, it's unapologetically caution. We're going to grow differently on that front, and not so much because of the financial investment, because in awarding a £250,000 contract, it'd be pretty easy to say this is a more expensive route, but to allow us just to concentrate and make all of our direct investment within the brand multiple point of difference.